Social skills / making conversation / interesting conversations. 280 interesting things to talk about, for any situation. March 2, 2021. David A. Morin, last updated August 29, 2022. Scientifically reviewed by Victor Sander, Bachelors of Science, BA. Here's a list of 280 interesting things to talk about, categorized by topic and social situation. Use these for inspiration to make interesting conversations with both your friends and new people you want to get to know. Sections. 1. Top 10 interesting things to talk about. 2. Universal topics to talk about. 3. Easy topics. 4. Fun topics. 5. Funny topics. 6. Happy topics. 7. With friends. 8. Life topics. 9. School topics. 10. Cool topics. 11. Exciting topics. 12. Crazy topics. 13. Cute topics. 14. Relationship topics. 15. With your crush. 16. On a date. 17. With your girlfriend or boyfriend. 18. Flirty topics. 19. Sex and gender topics. 20. Intelligent topics. 21. Deep topics. 22. Serious topics. 23. Random topics. 24. Weird topics. 25. Overtext. 26. Controversial topics. 27. Awkward or annoying topics. Top 10 interesting things to talk about. Here are 10 interesting topics that can help start a good conversation with almost anyone. Each topic is paired with a few questions you can use as conversation starters. 1. Dreams and aspirations. Some things to talk about are: how seriously do you treat your dreams, the current dreams you have, dreams you had as a kid, and how your view on them changed over the years. 1. Where do you want to live in the future? 2. What is your second biggest dream? 2. Phases of life. Not necessarily limited to stages of life such as baby, infant, toddler, child, etc. A new phase in life can also mean deciding to quit drinking, the death of a loved one, or getting a job position that you've always wanted. 1. Do you ever break up your life into phases? What are they divided by? 2. What is different in your life compared to 5 years ago? 3. Life after death. Can be either a deep or a surface level topic, depending on how much you want to go into it. Talking about it can help you discover more about your conversation partner's outlook on life. 1. If there's life after death, then what's the point in dying? 2. Which is more appealing to you, reincarnation or heaven? 4. Hobbies and passions. Discovering each other's passions and hobbies is a great conversation topic. You learn more about the other person and find areas of commonality. We, humans, love talking about things we are passionate about. You don't necessarily have to talk about current passions or hobbies either. Reminiscing about passions from the past works too and paints a picture of the person you are. 1. What do you like doing when you are not working? 2. Did you have any hobbies when you were a kid? 3. Is your current job your passion? Or what would you rather work with? 5. Authenticity. Talking about authenticity could mean discussing living by your own principles and beliefs, or feeling like a fraud, the imposter syndrome. 1. Do you ever pretend to be someone you're not to avoid judgment? 2. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? 6. Personal heroes. A personal hero doesn't have to be someone you know personally. It's an embodiment of the positive qualities that you most strive for. Talking about such people is akin to sharing your dreams and aspirations, although with a different twist. 1. Do you have personal heroes or idols? 2. Who are your role models? Why do you admire them? 7. New inventions. Some of the most exciting things are new inventions, especially the ones that have the potential of changing our lives in major ways. You could talk about your favorite recent inventions, things you didn't know you wanted but couldn't live for once you got them, or what kind of stuff you just can't wait for that is still in the realm of dreams or sci-fi. 1. What didn't exist 10 years ago that you couldn't live without anymore? 2. Which invention would you like to see come to life in the next 5 to 10 years? 8. Creativity. You could talk about the importance of creativity, ways to nourish and encourage it, what gets you feeling creative, or how you use it in your life. 1. When do you feel the most creative? 2. What does creativity mean to you? 9. Habits. People often don't think about their habits, rituals, and routines at all because those are so ingrained into our personalities. But when you discover those little things that you happen to do similarly, it can bring you together, because they make you feel alike in some way. 1. Are you into fitness? 2. Do you read every night before going to bed? 3. Do you talk to your plants? 4. Do you whisper Wednesday to help you spell it? Don't be afraid to share a little bit about yourself every once in a while. I make sure to share a little bit about my habits because it shows who I am and helps me find interesting commonalities. Read more, How to be a more interesting person to talk to. 10. Sense of humor. You could talk about the things that you find funny in everyday life or human behavior, what should be off limits as far as joking goes. Tell funny stories about your past or discuss your favorite comedies and comics. Having a sense of humor can also mean being able to laugh at a bad situation or even yourself. 1. Why do we laugh when people fall down? 2. What are your favorite comedies? Universal topics to talk about. What's around you? Talking about your immediate surroundings can be done both when you're talking to someone you're acquainted with, as well as with a perfect stranger. We are, after all, in the same space. Look around you. Can you see anything that would be interesting to talk about? 1. I like those plants over there. Are you interested in plants? 2. That's a lot of management books. Do you like to read? 3. Nice to have a wall-mounted AC unit instead of a window unit. What's that like at your place? Where someone's from? I love starting a conversation by asking people what city or area of town they are originally from. It's a great question to ask because it can lead the conversation to so many different places. Some great follow-up questions are: 1. What's the biggest difference between your old place and here? 2. What brought about you to move here? 3. What do you like most about place? Learning about another person's home can become an extremely personal experience. It's a great way to get to know someone. Read more here, interesting small talk topics and conversation starters. Food preferences. You don't have to be a connoisseur to discuss your preferences or the strangest/best things you've eaten. Everyone eats. Food is one of those things that has the power to connect even seemingly very different people. Personally, I talk about food preferences whenever food is on the topic or when you're at dinner, so it's natural to talk about it. 1. That salmon looks nice. Do you like fish? 2. Have you ever tried fermented cabbage? It has a strong taste but it's supposed to be healthy. 3. What do you like the most, pizza or burgers? Commonalities. Talking about things you have in common rather than differences is a good way to bond. Once you find something you have in common, those topics can be revisited throughout the conversation. Feel out the conversation and follow your gut instincts. If it sounds like their opinions align with your beliefs, don't be afraid to expand on that and use that as a common ground to build your conversation and friendship on. Read more here on how to get better at finding commonalities in a conversation. Advertisement. Popular events. Ask people about what music, culture, or arts festivals they like. Talking about popular events can also create a reason to meet up again if you decide to go to an event together. 1. Have you seen the Oscars? 2. Are you going to upcoming show? 3. What did you enjoy the most in the music show, festival, workshop, lecture? Vacations. Vacations are great to talk about because we can both ask where people have been and where they want to go. Here's the trick I use to get into the topic in a natural way. 1. So how are things at work? Will you be having any vacation soon? You can use that question basically at any time during small talk. You can now talk about vacations. 1. Where are you going? 2. What do you like the most about that place? 3. Have you been there before? In between those questions, you can also share your own vacation experiences. Plans. This can be about plans for the weekend, or even workplace adjustments and personal development. This can also apply to future dreams. Dig deeper by asking questions like 1. What do you want out of life? 2. Do you have a 5-year plan? You can also keep it casual and ask these questions. 1. What's your favorite thing to do on the weekends? 2. Do you have anything exciting coming up? Read more, 210 questions to ask friends and our list of good small talk questions. Areas of mastery. Get to know what people are good at and talk about that. If you, say, talk about abilities or how someone's good at something, it'll feel natural to ask something like 1. Do you have something you're really good at that most people don't know about? You can then delve into their skills and share what you're good at. This doesn't have to be a professional discussion, although it can be. It can even be something completely impractical like being able to speak backward or walk on your hands, as long as it makes for an interesting conversation. You can also talk about what someone wants to be good at. 1. What are you interested in learning? 2. Which skill would you like the most to completely master? Childhood memories. This can go in many different directions: the first memory, the happiest days, unexpected gifts, or life lessons learned. Bringing up childhood memories can be a great way to bond with another person, and also laugh a lot. However, be aware that not everyone is willing to talk about their childhood, especially if it was somewhat rough. If the person seems evasive or gives shorter responses than usual, it's a sign to move on to a different topic. Some ways you can dip your toes into this topic without being super invasive are: 1. What was the funniest moment you had as a kid? 2. What was the best thing you did for fun as a child? 3. Did you have any pets growing up? News. When all else fails, you can bring up cool things you've heard about, or even news from your own life. Take care to try and avoid news on topics that the other person you know isn't interested in or has a strong opinion about. Easy topics. The topics in this section are suitable to bring up with new acquaintances since they are more easygoing than the topics in the later sections. Leisure time. An all-encompassing topic, talking about the way you like to spend your free time. 1. Do you have any hobbies? 2. Do you have side projects apart from work? 3. What do you like to do when you go out? Television. You could discuss what's been on TV in the past, or is coming up in the future. 1. What is your favorite TV show? 2. Who was your favorite character in a well-known TV show? You could also talk about what goes into making TV shows or some fun TV-related trivia. Current work. 1. What do you like the most about your current job? 2. How did you get this job? If you're not happy with your current job, try to avoid complaining too much, as that can easily put people off, especially if they don't know you well. Dream job. Dream jobs are the lightest way to talk about work without entering into complaining mode. 1. How would the dream job be for you? 2. How many hours do you think people should work in an ideal job? Local news. Anything interesting that might be happening on a local level is fair game here, be it the entire city, or as local as, say, your university or neighborhood. Talking about happenings that are close by can often be more exciting compared to world news because it feels more immediate and impactful. 1. Did you hear about local event? 2. Did you go to local event last week? Weather. While the weather can sound like a boring topic, it's powerful to fall back on since it's so universal. Rather than simply talking about the weather, you can make the conversation more engaging by asking what type of weather they like. 1. Is it usually this hot in January? 2. What time of the year do you like the most? Hiking. You could talk about your favorite destinations or even the feelings that you experience while hiking. 1. What's the most exciting thing you discovered while hiking? 2. What's your favorite type of place for hiking? Coffee. Many coffee appreciators would love to talk about their favorite cafe, different coffee drinks, or roast preferences. 1. Do you know the insert name cafe? 2. Which type of coffee do you like the most? Restaurants. Similar to the topic above, but with a much wider appeal. 1. Do you go out to eat often? 2. What's your go-to place when you're ordering takeout? 3. How do you feel about fancy restaurants? Ice cream. Buying it in the store, in an ice cream shop, or even making your own. You could talk about your favorite flavors, condiments, and more. 1. Have you ever tried homemade ice cream? 2. Do you ever get brain freeze from eating too much ice cream, and then eat more ice cream? 3. What's the most ice cream you've eaten in a day? 4. Do you know any good ice cream spots in the city? Fun topics. These topics are suitable in an easygoing environment such as at a party or bar. Driving music. Favorite songs or genres of music to listen to while driving. 1. Do you ever listen to the radio while behind the wheel, or you need to have your own particular playlist? 2. Do you like listening to podcasts while driving? Lottery. Though a form of gambling, the lottery is usually seen as something more innocent than casinos or slot machines. 1. Have you ever bought a lottery ticket with absolutely no hopes of winning? 2. How do you think your life would change if you won big? Beach. Beach life, swimming, surfing, suntanning, playing volleyball, and building sandcastles. 1. Do you use sunscreen at the beach? 2. Would you go to the beach for a swim immediately after watching Jaws? 3. How long do you usually tan for? Halloween. Trick or treating, costume ideas, stories, and plans. 1. What's the craziest Halloween costume you've ever seen? 2. Is Rob Zombie the best Halloween party music, or what? 3. Do you like Halloween-themed parties? Adventure. You could recall your past adventures, dream about the future ones, or even talk about what adventure means to you. 1. Do you like adventures or prefer a routine life? 2. What's the most dangerous adventure you ever got? Shower songs. Some people love to sing while taking a shower, and talking about your favorite shower songs can be an unexpected yet fun topic. 1. Does it bother you when your family members sing in the shower? 2. What's your favorite music to sing in the shower? Aliens. Theorizing about aliens, their potential relationship with humans, sharing UFO stories, or even talking about your favorite alien movies. 1. Would you like aliens to be real? 2. Do you think aliens would be as curious as humans are? 3. Which sci-fi alien design would be the closest one to real aliens? Clubbing. Nightclubs, festivals, raves, favorite DJs, dancing, genres of music, and everything else that goes with it. 1. Who is your favorite DJ? 2. Do you enjoy dancing? 3. What kind of music do you like in a nightclub? Spooky stories. A good spooky story is always a good thing by the campfire or during a sleepover, unless someone you're with is overly sensitive. Some questions can inspire people to tell their stories. 1. Have you ever had a supernatural experience? 2. What's the scariest story you ever heard? Costume parties. Costume parties can be Halloween parties, events tied to a movie or a book release, or even no reason at all get-togethers with friends. 1. Have you ever been to a costume party? Which costume did you use? 2. What's the weirdest costume idea you'd actually go for? Daydreaming. It can be fun to talk about the times you've daydreamed at inappropriate moments, as daydreaming can also be kind of a whimsical experience. It might also bring you closer to the person you're talking to, as daydreaming is a rather private matter, so best avoid talking about it unless you think the person you're talking to would be comfortable with it. 1. Do you ever daydream on purpose? 2. What do you usually think about when your mind wanders off the work you're doing? Pet peeves. Discussing little things that annoy us can be fun, as long as you don't come across as someone who's complaining too much. 1. What's the thing you find the most annoying habit a person can have? 2. How do your parents/kids/spouse do that makes you go really crazy? Funny topics. These topics are also suitable for an easygoing environment, but are more for laughs and might be inappropriate around people you don't know. Bad jokes. When the awfulness of the joke is what makes you laugh. Keep in mind that bad humor is an art form that not everyone can appreciate. 1. Are you superstitious? No. Then lend me $13. Offensive jokes. Jokes that are meant to shock, cause discomfort and test the limits. If you don't have experience with this type of humor, extreme caution and use only in appropriate situations is advised, unless you want to be quickly labeled as a weirdo. Memes. Sharing a meme can be a quick way to brighten up the mood. 1. What's the best meme of all time? 2. What's the most underrated meme? 3. Is there a meme that you never really got the meaning of? Wordplay. Alliterations, idioms, and puns are some of the things you can use for wordplay. Incorporating some wordplay into your small talk or conversations with friends can be not only funny but also a great exercise for the mind. 1. Do you know any writers that use a lot of wordplays? April Fools. April Fool's Day is all about pulling unexpected jokes and pranks on people you love. Reminiscing on some of those occurrences can be a way to find a laugh, and even if it's not April Fool's Day right now or any time soon. 1. Do you enjoy being pranked on April Fool's Day? 2. What's the most preposterous thing you've ever believed, or had someone else believe, on April Fools? Bad date stories. Sharing weird dating stories can be hilarious, given that you're comfortable talking about it. Though if you're gonna tell an embarrassing story about someone else, avoid trash-talking specific people, either make sure they remain anonymous or don't tell the story at all. 1. How was your worst date night ever? Embarrassing stories. As with dating stories, if you're telling a story that might embarrass someone other than you, you should either make sure the person will remain anonymous or just keep it to yourself. 1. What was the most embarrassing moment in your life? Party stories. Be it a wild party full of craziness and booze, or a chill board game night, funny things happen at parties. Remembering those things can be just as funny as when they happened. 1. What was the craziest thing you ever did at a party? 2. What was the most boring party you've ever been to? Pet stories. If you're gonna be swapping funny or endearing stories about your pets, you should probably do it with a person that likes animals. 1. Does your cat ever do something really funny that you wish you had a camera ready to film it? 2. How did you get your dog? Useless skills. Sharing impractical, quirky skills can be a fun way to bring something unexpected into the conversation. 1. Can you move your ears? Happy topics. These are feel-good topics suitable for calmer, quieter environments rather than parties. Good settings are dinners with friends, or on a walk with someone you'd like to know better. Good deeds. Sharing and appreciating something that someone has done for you, or even for someone else, can be heartwarming and inspiring. 1. What's the best thing you've ever done for anyone? How did it feel? Nature. Being in nature feels great, is healthy, and can be a source of many stories. You could talk about your favorite parks, beaches, forests, or other places mostly untouched by the human hand. 1. Have you ever felt as if a place was literally alive, as if it was some kind of an entity? 2. What's your favorite place in nature? Happiness. You could talk about what happiness means to you, how you go about achieving it, and share your happiest moments. It might be a good idea to avoid this particular topic around someone who's suffering from depression. 1. Do you think happiness is a reasonable life goal? 2. Nothing makes me happier than a good nap. What about you? Favorite smells. Anything from smells of food and scented candles to forests, oceans, and mountains. 1. Which one has the best smell, the beach, the forest, or the rain in the summer? 2. What's the food you get crazy if you feel the smell? Kindness. You could talk about the way you define kindness and what it means to you, or take your time to appreciate a person that you consider to be kind. 1. Who's the most generous person you know? 2. What's the greatest act of kindness anyone did for you? Romance. Romantic relationships are a source of much happiness in our lives, and sharing some of those feelings with our friends can be a positive experience. 1. How do you know you have fallen in love? 2. How did it feel when you first kissed someone you really were into? Peace. This can be peace between two siblings who always fight, the absence of war, the idea of world peace, or even inner peace. 1. Where's the most peaceful place on earth? Optimism. A positive outlook toward the future. Looking at the bright side of things makes people more likable and easier to be around. It might be a good idea to avoid being overly optimistic around someone who's depressed, though. 1. What makes you feel really optimistic about life? 2. Who is the most optimistic person you know? Do you try to mirror them? Belonging. Feeling like you are a part of a place, a situation, or a group of people. 1. When did you feel the truest sense of belonging in your life? 2. What makes you feel that you really belong to a group? Sense of purpose. The feeling that propels you towards achieving your goals, towards a better future. Talking about it is a great way to share something positive. 1. What really drives you towards a goal? 2. What makes you feel a sense of purpose in life? Nostalgia. A reminiscence about the good old days, be it something from one's early childhood, school days, or a particular decade. Though it can be a little sad, nostalgic feelings are usually mostly happy. 1. What's the thing you miss the most from the past? With friends. School. For most people, going to school is a formative experience, colored brightly by character-building moments. In America particularly, there is also the topic of sports at the schools we went to. College football is huge. In New York, there are entire bars dedicated to random college teams from various states. Our school days often remind us of simpler times, and we usually have a lot of stories to tell. Try out these questions. 1. What did you go to detention for? 2. What class in school was your favorite subject? 3. Who was your best friend at school? Learning new skills. Talking about new things you're trying out or planning to do is a great way to feel like you and your friends are progressing through life together. 1. Which language would you like to learn? 2. How's that course coming along? Monthly expenses. Similar to the topic above, talking about your expenses can bring about some positive revelations, and sharing your thoughts with your friends can also give you some additional accountability. 1. How much could you save from changing this little habit? 2. What type of expense weighs more on your budget currently? Podcasts. Themed podcasts are a great side topic to common interests. You could also discuss something generally interesting that you've heard on a podcast, or ask for recommendations on what podcast to listen to. 1. What activity do you usually combine with listening to podcasts? 2. What kind of podcasts do you enjoy the most? Perfectionism. On one side, there's striving for improvement, and on the other is not being able to accept anything less than perfect. You could discuss the situations in which perfectionism is beneficial, and others in which it can be a hindrance, your past experiences, and ways to deal with it. 1. Did you ever have to deal with paralyzing perfectionism? 2. Do you believe that done is better than perfect? Tourism. Some things to talk about are, how you feel about tourism in general, your own preferences, or even the impact that tourism has on your city. 1. Do you prefer going to the most popular touristy places, or traveling like a local, looking for more obscure spots in a city? 2. Do tourists ever annoy you? Army. The army is a major chapter of many people's lives. For some, it's the most character-defining one of them all. If both people in the conversation experienced the army, it's a way to bond over something common. But even if only one person was in the army and the other one is simply curious, it's a great topic to explore. 1. Was the army a good experience for you? 2. Do you wonder how would life turn out if you were drafted? Trends. Whatever is in at the time, whether you get it or not. Discussing new things can broaden our horizons, change our perspective, or even just be fun. If you don't get a new trend, try to avoid bashing it. 1. Have you taken a look at TikTok yet? 2. Do you like to follow fashion trends? Cards. 2 main topics to talk about would be card tricks and card games. Some things to talk about could be the different types of games and how they differ from each other, the famous card players or magicians, card game scenes in cinema, or even talking about what makes a person get into doing card tricks. Poker is a pretty big theme, with a lot of potential subtopics. 1. What's the most action-packed card game you know? 2. Do you know any card tricks? Fame. The idea of fame, is it appealing at all? How would it be beneficial to be famous, and what would be the downsides? Is it really worth it? 1. Have you ever experienced any amount of fame, even if local or minor? Favorite apps. Sharing the cool new app you've found is not only a topic of discussion but can also be helpful to the other person, be it a productivity app, some kind of local events list, or a better offline map solution. 1. Do you use any productivity applications on your phone? 2. What language learning app would you recommend? Dreams. Sharing the dreams you had last night may feel pointless unless the dream was funny or was of strong emotional significance. 1. Which was the weirdest dream you ever had? 2. Do you have a recurring dream? Life topics. Change. Change is often difficult to accept, and people deal with it in different ways. You could talk about the shifts in your perception of the world, the change in your sleeping habits, or even more obvious things, like break UPS and deaths in the family, and how all those things affect you. 1. Do you welcome change or run away from it? 2. Do you have any tips on how to cope with big changes in life? Problems. Talking about one's problems can be a great way to get something off your chest. While it is okay to admit that you're having a hard time, as with other negative topics, try to not come across as someone who's just complaining all the time without actually trying to change anything. 1. Would you like to be more self-aware? 2. How well do you manage your credit card usage? Influences. We're constantly influenced by everything around us, to differing degrees. The people around us, the weather, the news on TV, the quality of the air outside our windows, and so on. An influence could also be a particular event from our past that left a great impression on us. 1. What influenced you to get into writing music? 2. In your youth, did you ever hang around the kids who were a bad influence on you, according to your parents? Parenthood. A very rich topic, even if you're not a parent yet. 1. Thinking back to your youth, can you imagine how it would be, to be your own parent? 2. Do you think you'd make a good dad? Minimalist living. Some of the things to talk about concerning minimalist living could be, not getting attached to your physical possessions, the idea that less is more, and the phenomenon of the tiny house movement. 1. Is there anything that you currently own that you wouldn't miss after selling? Stress. Dealing with stress, the ways that work, and the ones that aren't that great. How to find a perfect balance between too much and too little. 1. Does meditation really help with stress? 2. How do you cope with stress? Motivation. Motivation is a great positive topic to talk about. It can be inspiring and motivational in itself to talk about what motivates other people. 1. What helps you to set goals and stay on target? Work-life balance. With this topic, you could discuss what constitutes a healthy balance, and some ways to switch off the working mode when the time for work is over. This is a topic that is particularly important to working moms, workaholics, and those that work at home. 1. What do you do to switch off from work when you come home? 2. How do you manage work-life balance while doing remote work? Luck.